Ooh, there we go. I've booted up this game since the Splatfest, alright? Oh, okay, there's a dual challenge thing going on. Okay. Couldn't remember. I was like, I know I've booted it up. Because, yeah, we're at 271 salty sea snails. So, tonight, we've got actually a fair... We only have, like, 3 news stories, but I've got a lot to say about all of them, because, basically, to put it into perspective, this week was a Nintendo Direct. Like, a Nintendo Direct didn't actually happen. I guess Mini Direct would be the better phrasing. And, like, that didn't happen, obviously. But based on the stuff that got announced this week, you could tell someone like, hey, Nintendo did a Mini Direct this week. And they'd believe you, because that's the kind of announcements we got this week. And it's not a bad chunk of announcements either, you know? Like, I'm actually excited by some of this stuff. So we've got those good news stories, right? We've got some good news stories out of Nintendo. I know some people are a little mixed on some of these things, but I'm looking at the greener sides of life and all that. Now, the PlayStation story we have tonight sucks. It's something that was inevitable, sadly. Like, I didn't want it to happen, but we all knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of when, and this week was when. So we got to talk about that. And then I have like 2 foodstuffs. It's you know, it's the holiday season. It's a very veritable time to get a lot of foodstuffs news. So of course we've got a good chunk of foodstuffs. So we've got that, and I think we've got videos game. Yeah, I think we've got videos game. I don't know. Well, I know we have that new Pokemon app, which I'm briefly going to talk about. Might as well. So yeah, I guess we don't actually have that much foodstuffs now that I really think about it. Oh, that's way over on the other side of the map. So yeah, we got a few things. I don't know. It's been a busy week for Nintendo, and all of that to be said, right? It's been a busy week for Nintendo. They did not reveal the Switch 2. You know, I was a big believer in what the Switch 2 subreddit decided to call October gang, because there's been 2 major groups in the Switch 2 reveal camp. There was October gang, which is people who thought it was going to be in October. And then there's, you know, the 2025 group, whose official group name I can't remember. But, you know, people who think that, no, the new console release isn't happening this year. They're going to do it in, you know, January, or if not later next year. But I've been firmly in October gang. And it's now November 1st, which means that, yes, it is October. October gang was wrong. We lost. It didn't happen. But oh boy, did Nintendo still launch a bunch of stuff. Like, Nintendo had a bunch of reveals. Just not the Switch 2. I mean, an alarm clock, an app, a new game, kind of, a remake. They had a bunch of stuff. Just not Switch 2. Which is very surprising. So we got all that to talk about. So, our first story tonight, let's talk about PlayStation. So, when Concord came out back in, what, September, August. It was out for 2 weeks, and then it was pulled off market, right? It was a relic, right? They pulled it down, and they said, like, oh, you know, we're going to reevaluate our position, and we will come back at a future date. That was what they had said at the time. And I remember listening to Kinda Funny Games Daily, and Greg Miller said something along the lines of, you know, Concord is a tainted brand. That they did so poorly that you can't re-release Concord. They already screwed things up so bad that even if they did put it back out as like a freemium game or, right, free to play, whatever they did with it, it wouldn't matter because it's tainted goods. Nobody wants to play it anymore because, you know, everybody clowned on it and nobody played it to begin with. Making it free to play all of a sudden isn't going to recuperate the $200 million that was spent on it. That's not suddenly going to get people to change their brand image. And you know what? That's a good point. Honestly, everything Greg Miller said about that... I was trying to get behind the box. Everything Greg Miller said about that was completely correct. That, right, it's tainted goods. Nobody's going to want to play it. So, you know, there was some rumblings that, you know, it was eventually going to come back as free to play. But this week, Jason Schreier put out a thing that said that no, Concord is not coming back. They've just decided to pull the plug. You know, the $200 million that was spent on the game, that's just a loss at this point. They're not going to be coming back. And, in fact, the one thing that we knew was going to happen, sadly, was that Firewalk Studios, the studio that made Concord, is being shut down. Because that's the current state of the video game industry. Is you get one chance to make a good game, and if you don't, you know, if you don't succeed, even if you underperform, you're a failure and your studio gets shut down. And sometimes you can succeed, right? In examples like Hi-Fi Rush, you can succeed and still get your studio shut down because the AAA game industry is a mess. And stuff like this happens way more often than we'd like to admit. And it sucks every time it does. And yeah, did Concord fail? Yes. Do hundreds of people, hundreds theoretically, I actually don't know how many people work at Firewalk. For a big budget AAA game, it's probably over 100 people. Do they all deserve to lose their jobs? No. Did their past, 8 years of hard work deserve to just all go down the drain? Because they had, like, a year of content. That, you know, admittedly, I don't know if all of it was... This isn't like a content roadmap that you see in, like, other AAA games, where it's like, oh, this is our roadmap. You know, think of stuff like Anthem. As far as I know, they had, like, a story with cutscenes and whatnot that they already had put some development time into, that they wanted people to see. And yeah, all of that's being scrapped. Nobody will ever see that. As far as I know, Concord still has an episode in the show Secret Level, which comes out next month in December. Right, all this work these developers put on Concord, does that all deserve to be scrapped and never seen from again? Probably not, because that is pretty harsh. But yeah, all that happened. All these people are out of a job now. As far as I know, they're not the only studio that is shut down. A mobile developer, Neon Koi, also got shut down. Did they work on... Who is Neon Koi? Did they work on Concord? I'm not entirely sure. But in the same announcement, it was also announced that they were shutting down. And I know they're a mobile game developer. I have that written in my notes. They were Berlin. They were permanently closed. PlayStation Studio... Let's see. Reading directly from their Wikipedia. Neon Koi was a German-Finnish game development studio located in both Berlin and Helsinki, originally called Savage Game Studios. The studio was founded in 2020, and in 2022 it was acquired by Sony Interactive and was a founding member of PlayStation's mobile division. It was renamed Neon Koi in 2023. Did it do anything? Announced its intention to acquire Savage Games. The co-founder was changed to Neon Koi. That's literally it. It doesn't say what the studio worked on. Founders. Yeah, it just says notable products TBA. So Sony bought the studio 2 months ago. I don't know if they ever actually did anything. They might have been a support staff on other games. But yeah, they're also in the same announcement of Firewalk being shut down. Sony also shut down Neon Koi. Because, you know, as a developer, Sony has to reclaim this money somehow. At least they're right, because number has to go up. At their next shareholders meeting, they're going to have to tell the shareholders, hey, this is how we made up that $200 million that we lost. And, you know, shutting down studios and firing employees is going to be the first thing they do. We saw this with Microsoft when after they bought Activision Blizzard, they then fired a bunch of employees because they have to make up all that money they spent on Activision Blizzard. Because you can't have number go down. Number go down is bad for capitalism. And even though number go up is unsustainable, all these companies still have to try to do it. And, you know, eventually something's going to collapse. But it's not going to be today. So that's the death of Concord. Is this the end of the story? Probably not. Again, there's still that secret level thing. I'm sure Sony put some money in somewheres that we'll see something again from. I don't know. I kind of wish that the day after they had announced that Concord was canceled, I wish I had gone out and bought like a physical edition of the game. Because it's one of those things that's like I now want just as like a piece on like a collection piece on my shelf. Kind of like I have like games like Sushi Strikers and Redfall, where it's like, yeah, this is a game I'm never going to play, but I got it for $5, and it's like, yeah, this is a piece of history on my shelf. Is it a good game? No. But I have it, and it cost me $5. And I will pay $5 to look at something. For a long time, that was Fallout 76. Right, I got a copy of Fallout 76 for like $3. And I was like, oh yeah, this looks nice on my shelf. And then I actually ended up using it. Actually, I didn't have a terrible time with Fallout 76. So yeah, we all knew this was gonna happen. The second they announced they were pulling Concord, we all knew Firewalk was going to get shut down. And I hope the employees at Firewalk, right, I don't know when they find out their studio was going to be shut down. Hopefully they didn't find out in a tweet. In many cases that sadly happens nowadays, where, you know, people like Jason Schreier tweet about it, and that's the first time employees working at the company find out about it. Because higher-ups don't have the fucking gall to tell their employees first. So I really hope they knew. I hope that, right, a bunch of these employees, the second, right there, their game was pulled, they all started looking for new jobs. And that some of them have new jobs by now. They don't have to, they're able to go in, right, they're able to start something new. Hopefully that happens. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know. The failure of Concord, someone's going to eventually write a book about it. It could be Jason Schreier himself, honestly. I don't know. He just released his Activision Blizzard book, which I do need to read/listen to, because that seems very interesting. Yeah. Yeah, Concord is going to be an interesting story one day. But sadly, right now, it's just another failed live service game. And hopefully it's a lesson to Sony that, hey, you know what? You know what Sony is known for is big budget AAA games that are very story driven, that people love, and not multiplayer hogwash. That, sure, it'll make multiplayer hogwash makes Epic Games and Activision Blizzard a lot of money, but that's not why people play Sony games. And, right, like, the fact that The Last of Us was already canceled, The Last of Us multiplayer was canceled, because The Last of Us multiplayer would have turned into this. I want to be very clear. The Last of Us multiplayer would have just been another Concord. We don't know what's happening with, Bungie's next game, because they've got a game, it's not Metropolis, Metropolitan, it's Metro something, I don't know, it's Metro something, and hopefully that doesn't end up the same way. But I want to say Bungie did fire a bunch of employees like the other week, so literally anything is possible. So that's our one PlayStation story. Let's talk about some Nintendo stuff. So, over in the October gang, that believed the Switch 2 was going to be revealed this month. Starting on, like, Sunday, Monday-ish, over the weekend, there were a few prominent leakers, you know, Pyro, you know, the one who had his source caught and went black on Twitter, and a few other prominent leakers as well as him, started talking like, hey, something's going to happen this week, right? Did they ever actually say Switch 2? I'm sure some of them did, but a lot of them were like, something's going to happen this week. Be prepared, something's going to happen. I know some people specifically said Monday or Tuesday. So, you know, of course, some people came out against it. Kit and Krista, you know, former Nintendo employees, came out and said it makes no sense for Nintendo to announce Switch 2 right now. Right? They, you know, with Halloween right around the corner, with the holiday season coming up, they're not going to announce Switch 2, right? If they did, it would have been earlier in the month, or, you know, they gave their own reasonings. Go watch their video. Are they correct? Yeah. But, you know, there was hope. There was hope. It wasn't October yet, right? It wasn't Jover, right? This ain't the presidential election. It ain't Jover till it's Jover. God. Let's not even get to politics. So I was kind of like, ooh. I was hopeful. I was hopeful we were going to get something. You know, if they had announced, like, hey, Monday night, they had said, like, hey, stay tuned for a special Nintendo announcement tomorrow on Tuesday. Or if on Tuesday they were like, hey, stay tuned for a special announcement on Wednesday. I would have been like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Like, you know, it would have been the last possible moment. Because obviously they weren't going to announce anything on Halloween. So, you know, everyone's super excited. Everyone's looking forward to stuff. And then on Tuesday night? So nothing happens on Monday. But it's like, you know what? There's always Tuesday. On Tuesday night, Nintendo announces... It might have been Tuesday morning. At some point on Tuesday. Maybe it was Tuesday. I think this was Tuesday morning, and the next story we're going to talk about was Wednesday night. Tuesday morning, Nintendo puts up a trailer. Hey, guess what? The last Wii U port, Xenoblade Chronicles, is coming to Switch. Its release date is March 20th, 2025. Xenoblade Chronicles X is coming to Switch. Now, I have been waiting for this game for 7 years. Every year, I make the prediction that, hey, this is going to be the year Xenoblade Chronicles X comes to Switch. And they're going to announce a sequel to X. They're going to announce X Squared. And, you know, it's going to be all sunshine and rainbows. We're finally going to get that game. Because Xenoblade Chronicles X, is it the best Xenoblade game? I wouldn't say so. I'd say the original is better. I've heard 3 is fantastic. I've never played 3 though. But the original is amazing. But X will always hold a special place in my heart because it's the first one. It's technically not the first one I played because I played the 3DS version of the original first. But it will always hold a special place in my heart, right? It's the moment that right after Smash Bros, after Chugga Conroy, it was the moment I got into the series. I went off on my own. I didn't have Chugga Conroy to hold my hand and walk me through things, right? It was just me on my own. And it was a truly special experience. And that game, there are some plot, right? The game is, I'm not going to spoil anything. There are some plot twists in that game that blew my mind at the time. Specifically, the first one. The first big plot twist you come across. Like 20 hours in. But I think it's before you even get your own robot. Because, there's robots in that. You can get giant robot Metsuks. And it's like a big deal. Yeah, before that even happens, you get the first big twist. And I was just so surprised. Oh my gosh. I didn't see it coming. I think it's a good reveal. The way it happens. It is very different than all the other Xenoblade games. Xenoblade Chronicles X is very reliant on its side content. You've got to do the side story stuff. You've got to do the character missions. Recruit as many other characters as possible. Which is very different than all the other Xenoblade games. Right? It's very different. The music. Oh my god, I cannot think of a single other game that sounds like Xenoblade X. That's not always a good thing. I know some people hate X's soundtrack, but it's very different. And I like it. It definitely is different. I think we'll talk a lot about music later. Xenoblade Chronicles has one of the best soundtracks of all time. X is a very different beast, but I enjoy it in a very different way. So I'm excited, right? I'm excited to have this game back. This game is super special to me. I want to give it another go. I want it to get that sequel. So finally, after 7 years of waiting, I'm very excited. And it's also nice because, on TikTok this past week, I've been, as part of October Gang, back in September, on one of these streams, we recorded a bunch of Nintendo Direct predictions. And I was like, you know what, eventually I'm gonna, make a highlight reel, upload some stuff to TikTok. And with, October Gang, it being the end of October, the end of my predictions, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do that highlight reel now. Just in case the Switch 2 actually gets announced this week, I'm gonna start uploading my Switch 2 highlights to TikTok. I also have a longer form video that I'm gonna put on YouTube, but I haven't done that yet. I'm gonna wait until I get more of the TikTok ones out. And one of those predictions I made in that video was Xenoblade Chronicles. So it was really nice to have oh yeah, I've been uploading Switch 2 predictions all week. And hey, now I can I can basically just bump ahead, find the Xenoblade Chronicles X one, and just upload that right now. So I did that, because I did, at one point in the video, in my predictions, while I predict it being a June or July game, I say hey, if it's Nintendo's February game, that would make sense. It makes sense for it to be or did I say February? I meant March. If it's Nintendo's March game, that makes sense. Because Nintendo, right now we have Donkey Kong Country in January. We don't know what's coming out in February, but there's probably going to be something. And that means we need a March game. Because, I originally expected the Switch 2 to come out in March, and now that it's not, we now need a March game. And guess what? Xenoblade Chronicles X fits that bill. And I think it's a great March game. So I'm happy to see it there. It makes sense. In many ways, I was off, but in many ways, I also did totally predict this way back in September. So I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to kind of have gotten that prediction correct. So yeah, but with that, this is, I guess, in some ways, Xenoblade Chronicles X is the consolation prize. Because the second that was announced, you knew it was over. Switch 2 was not happening. There were some people who said, like, no, hold on, you know, just wait, there's still something coming later this week. There were, I think Pyro specifically said something along the lines of, like, no, I wasn't predicting Switch 2, I was actually predicting this. I don't know. You know, with any leaker, they could be talking complete bullshit. It could be a Schrodinger's douchebag thing, where they're like, oh, you know, they were claiming to predict something, and then when something else happens, they could just claim they were predicting that instead. Literally anything is possible at this point. But yeah, the second Xenoblade Chronicles X got announced, I was like, that's it. It's over. It was over. That was it. That was the end of the game. But hey, we walked away with Xenoblade Chronicles X. I love that game. I'm super happy we're getting it. I'll take that as a win. Because something that people notice is that basically throughout this past week, Nintendo has been uploading a bunch of trailers. There was no Nintendo Direct Mini this month. Or last month, I guess. But over the course of a week, we got a new trailer for Brothership. We got a new trailer for Just Dance. We got a trailer for Dead by Daylight. Yakuza Kiwami release. Let's not count that. Slay the Princess release. Fitness Boxing. We got a trailer for that. We got a trailer for Ease X. Sonic X Shadow Generations. Power Wash Simulator. We got some new Nintendo Switch games. We got Clock Tower. We got Dreamlight Valley. And, like, all of those games, if you were to put those in, like, a mini Nintendo Direct, and also squish in the next thing we're going to talk about, as well as, like, a new little trailer for Donkey Kong, and call that a Direct Mini, I think that would be a okay Direct Mini. You know, Xenoblade, Donkey Kong, again, the next thing we're going to talk about, Fitness Boxing, Ease, Slay the Princess, you know, stuff like that. I could totally have seen that being a mini Nintendo Direct. Right? They call it a Twitter Direct, is the fan coin term. Which this has happened before. Nintendo has done these basically, instead of doing like a Nintendo Direct, like people were expecting, they just put a bunch of announcements on Twitter. And right, it's basically like we got like a mini Direct, but instead of doing a mini Direct, because they don't really do mini Directs anymore, it's just Twitter Direct. So yeah, I can see the argument that this week was a Twitter Direct. That makes sense. That's a very logical thing. So, okay, so that was Xenoblade on Tuesday. We all kind of knew it was coming. We knew something was coming, and, you know, for many people, myself included, that was like, oh, that's it. You know, we're not going to get anything else. We're not going to get the Switch 2 announcement. It's over. The following day, I don't know, around like 3 o'clock, sometime within the day, 3 o'clock local for me, someone pointed out on the Reddit that, hey, you know, isn't it weird that since posting the Xenoblade Chronicles thing the day before, Nintendo hasn't posted anything else? Like, Nintendo's one of those companies that, you know, they'll usually put out some sort of stupid tweet every day. Right? Even if it's just like Wigger Wednesday or, you know, whatever gaffe they do. Nintendo basically tweets every day. So after announcing Xenoblade Chronicles X, people took notice that, hey, Nintendo hasn't tweeted in 24 hours. That's very suspicious. So even though, you know, Xenoblade Chronicles X killed the hope for Switch 2, all of a sudden people got very excited. All of a sudden everyone was like, wait, Nintendo hasn't tweeted? Does this mean something's going to come? Oh my god, is it not October? Are we back? Right? Is October getting back? Everyone was super excited. So, right, everyone was chomping at the bit like, oh my god, is something happening? And then, like, an hour and a half later, I want to say locally, it was at, like, 5:30, a few hours later, Nintendo drops the trailer for Nintendo Music. Now, when I first saw the trailer, I saw an image of it on Reddit. And I thought it was fake. I legitimately saw the image of Nintendo Music, and we just talked about this back in October. Like, on October 11th, the same week they revealed Alarmo. That same week, they announced the playtest program. And one of my predictions for the playtest program had been Nintendo Spotify. So when I saw the trailer for Nintendo Music, I was like, nah, that's fake. That's just some fan mock-up thing, you know? Because people like to make fan mock-ups of the Nintendo Switch UI all the time. So I was like, nah, that's just some sort of fan mock-up thing. That's not real. Go on Wario64 on Twitter. Sure enough, Nintendo made Nintendo Spotify. Of course, it is a Nintendo product. So, you know, we get what we wanted, but as the monkey's paw goes, it comes at a terrible cost, right? We get everything we want, but it comes with some sort of terrible drawback, a terrible curse, and the big curse for Nintendo Music is that it doesn't have all the music. I think at launch it has like 21 albums of who knows how many. So that's the one big drawback. But I do have some improvements I want this thing to make. But before we get to improvements, let's talk about what's actually here. So this is an app that allows you to listen to Nintendo Music. Right? It's got 9 Switch albums, and I think it's got 2 or 3 albums from every other system before it. I don't think it's got any Game Boy stuff. Like, I don't think like Super Mario Land or Tetris is on here. But, you know, it's got, like, Super Mario Galaxy. It's got the Wii menus. So, like, Nintendo released a trailer yesterday that was like, hey, here's someone listening to Nintendo Music while shopping for groceries. Right? They're listening to the Wii Music Channel music while shopping for real life, right? Doing some real life shopping. The fact that they put the Wii stuff on here is great. That's great addition. They've got Mario Galaxy. They have Nintendogs. They don't have Tomodachi Life, right? The 3DS game Tomodachi Life. They instead have the original Japan-only game Tomodachi Collection. Which, hey, it is nice that we actually now... Because as far as I know, that game in Japan is also just called Tomodachi Life. So it's nice to know that to differentiate it in the West, it's called Tomodachi Collection. That makes my life so much easier, if I'm being honest, because I've referred to it as Tomodachi Life DS in the past, and it's just so confusing. So now that I can call it Tomodachi Collection, that's really cool. It's got 2 versions of the Metroid soundtrack. It's got the disc drive version and Metroid. It's got the original Mario Brothers soundtrack. Let me just pull it up real quick. Let me just pull it up. It's got Nintendogs. It's got, you know, a bunch of Switch games. It's got Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It's got Pikmin. It's got Splatoon 3. It's got Mario Odyssey. It's got Breath of the Wild. Doesn't have Tears of the Kingdom. Doesn't have... It didn't have Mario Wonder, but it does now. What are some other things I'm forgetting? I'm forgetting so many other things. It's got Kirby Star Allies. It's got Metroid Prime. That's its one GameCube game. It's got Fire Emblem, which is, again, if you're going to get some variety on there, I think getting Fire Emblem's good. It's got Ocarina of Time and Star Fox 64. Okay, that makes sense. It's got Yoshi's Island in the original Donkey Kong Country, not Donkey Kong Country 2. It's got... Oh, it does have Game Boy. Okay, it's got Kirby's Dream Land and Dr. Mario. And it's got Metroid... Metroid Famicom Disc version, and the original Super Mario Bros. So that's about 20 albums totally. And yeah, I want that to be more. Obviously. Again, we'll talk about it. It has both, of course, you can listen to it, you know, while you can listen to music, you can download music onto your device to avoid loading times. Of course, you know, it's like any other music program. It has playlists, so they have playlists for, like, each game. Right, they've got, like, you can listen to every song and, like, I'm gonna use Pikmin as my primary example, because that's what I've been listening to. You can listen to every song in Pikmin, or you can go to, like, it has top tracks, which is just, like, a curated list of, like, some of the best songs in the game. Okay, that makes sense. You can listen to all tracks, which is 153. There's a playlist for boss battles. There's a playlist for the Olimar Shipwreck Tale songs. There's a Planet PNF 404 soundtrack playlist. There's a Dandori playlist, and then there's an extended playlist, because basically one of the things Nintendo has done is that, because, you know, video game music is a lot of songs that you're supposed to listen to over and over again, sometimes for hours at a time, right? Sometimes you will listen to a soundtrack for multiple hours, just hearing the same song over and over again. So so basically when you click on a song, yeah, you can make it like, you know, like most other music playlists, you can make it repeat, where it'll repeat a playlist or an album. And then you can make it repeat the same song over and over again. But there's a bit at the bottom where it says extend, where you can extend every song to 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or 60 minutes. So, right, let's say you're doing a workout and you just want to listen to, you know, the same Punch-Out song over and over again to get you pumped up. Well, guess what? You can just play that same song, extend it to 60 minutes, and it'll time it perfectly. That's really neat. That's a really cool detail. Something I never would have thought of, but I think that's really good. I think that's really cool that that's there. They have character-specific playlists. So, like, the Pikmin playlist has one that's Pikmin characters. The Pokemon one has, like, hey, this is Nemona's playlist. It's got all of her songs. This is Kieran's playlist that has all of his songs. There's a Rosalina one that has a bunch of her songs. There's a Yoshi one, right? They made character playlists for specific characters that just are like songs that they're related to or involved in. I think that's a really great idea. Character-specific playlists are really good. There's some other themed playlists, like I'm pretty sure there's like a workout playlist. Just, you know, songs picked by Nintendo. There's a workout one, and there's a sleepy time one. I'm sure there's a few others. There's a good night, a walking one, a running one. There's a powering up, a break time one. They have some themes where it's like, oh, this is the theme of New Adventure. These are title themes. You know, some really cool ideas in there. You know, it's not just like it's not just broken up by game or by composer. We'll talk about composer. We'll talk about that problem in a minute. But right, they didn't just break it up like that. No, they clearly put some extra effort into this. To be like, no, let's break this up in more ways. Let's give people what they want. And of course, if you want to make your own playlist, you can also just make your own playlist. I saw someone, I think it was Juno, make a playlist that was basically Russian roulette, where it was like 4 like nighttime sleepy songs, and then fucking the Guardian theme from Breath of the Wild. That's fun, you know, you can make your own playlist, you can have fun with that. I think that, right, that's all good. I think that all works really well. They have a feature that, again, something I never would have thought of, but it makes perfect sense, especially depending on how they do things. Spoiler prevention. So, right, let's say you haven't played Breath of the Wild yet, or, let's just use Breath of the Wild because it's on there. You can turn on spoiler prevention, and then listen to songs from Breath of the Wild, but it won't give you any spoilers. And so theoretically, when new games come to the service, like Mario and Luigi Brothership comes out next week. Let's say let's say on, you know, November 7th, when that game comes out, let's say on that same day they release the soundtrack. I doubt they will, but let's just pretend they do. You can turn on spoiler prevention, so that way you can listen to songs while you're playing the game, or, you know, like, let's say you play the game, you drive to work, you want to listen to Battle Theme number 6, you can do that without having anything spoiled for you. I think that's a great idea. Again, something I never would have thought of, but hearing about it, it makes perfect sense. Another great idea by Nintendo. We start doing timers. Of course, at the end of the trailer, right, they've got all their features. They did announce that they will be adding new soundtracks in the future. The ones they showed off are Wii Sports, Mario 64, Skyward Sword, Splatoon 2, Wind Waker, Donkey Kong Country 2, F-Zero X, and those are all very obvious ones. Honestly, those are all songs that should have been there at launch. Like, the fact... You know what? I would think that... You know, it's Nintendo. They're fucking stupid. They're a bunch of boomers. Of course, right, they can't... When I predicted this, my thought was like, oh, well, you need to launch it with, you know, every song. Because you can't timing release music games the same way they do Nintendo Switch Online. That just won't work. And I still stand by it won't. But, like, if you had told me, like, oh, we're going to do timed releases, I still would have said, get every Zelda, every mainline Mario, every Animal Crossing, and every Splatoon. Those are Nintendo's 4 big franchises. It amazes me that not all 4 of those are on there. But yeah, no, I'll actually give my thought. I've used this music app now, so, you know, I will give my thoughts on it a little bit later. Probably near the end of the show. But so far, I do like it, just to kind of sum it up, because it became available that same day, right? It was a same-day release, so it was available that same day. And yeah, you know, I do like it. I do think some of these features are really nice. I wish there were more songs, but you know, other than that, I've seen some people complain that, oh, of course Nintendo can't just, like, put their songs on Spotify. They have to make their own... They have to have their own piece of pie that, you know, only they have, you know, another fucking streaming service that people have to pay money for. The one nice thing is that they did do the correct thing. They included this as part of Nintendo Switch Online. If you are already paying for Nintendo Switch Online, which is $20 a year, might I add, you get this. Honestly, what would you rather do? Pay $100 for a full year of Spotify, or pay $20 for a full year of Nintendo Music, plus you get Nintendo Switch Online, plus you get access to NES, Super Nintendo, and Game Boy games on your Nintendo Switch. Because they did do the smart thing and you only need the basic pass, you don't need the expansion pass, because that would have definitely been a mistake if they had made this expansion pass exclusive. Nope, they did not do that. I was able to just sign in with my Nintendo account. No problems. I've had no issues with it whatsoever. It works fine. So yeah, I've had no issues. I've had a... Oh god, I'm dying. I've had no issues with the service. I've had a good time with it. Again... I'll get into more specific thoughts later. So, of course, that's what's there. What about some improvements? Because there are definitely some problems here. The first one that people immediately noticed is that they don't credit any of the composers. I know, last week when we talked about Masahiro Sakurai and, right, his own YouTube channel, one of the things I pointed out is that Nintendo is better than other gaming companies when it comes to giving people credit. Right? Like, who works at Blizzard? Who works at Activision Blizzard? I'm sure you know a few names, but not that many. I can't name any. But Nintendo, you know, you've got Miyamoto, you've got Iwata, you've got Itoy, you've got Sakurai, you've got Koji Kondo, you've got Taka, you've got Aonuma, you've got Tezuka, you've got... Is it Nandoyo? That's not even the Furukawa, and who's the guy who directed Mario Odyssey? Not Tezuka. Tezuka's another one. I might have already said that one. Right, like Nintendo actually is better than most other gaming companies at giving credit to their, you know, employees. Right, like I know who Nintendo people are, even if I can't name them all off the top of my head. I can name a few, obviously. So it was a real big surprise to see this music app launch without crediting any of the composers. Like, they even have, when you look at a song, there's an option where you can look at, right, when, like, I click on a song here, Like, I'm on Mario Wonder. So it says Shining Falls theme, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Okay, it's the title of the song in the game. Doesn't say the composer, but you can hit the 3 little dots, and there's a bit where it says track information. And if you click on track information, it just gives you those exact 2 bits of pieces. Shining Falls, Super Mario Wonder, copyright Nintendo. Why didn't you not credit the composer? I mean, this is all your music. You can credit the composer. Admittedly, I don't know who did the music for Super Mario Wonder. I don't think it was Kondo, obviously. But, you know, you credit these composers. And then make soundtracks based around these composers. Right? Like, one of the... like, I know people... Like, I could see Nintendo in their infinite Nintendo-dom being like, well, people don't know who composers are... Right, what we should we didn't credit composers because we know American audiences and, you know, Japanese audiences to agree won't know who these people are. And it's like, first of all, you should credit them regardless. And second of all, this is how people learn who they are. Right? Like, if you had a playlist that was just, hey, this is all the music Koji Kondo worked on, you know, the original Mario Brothers, Mario Galaxy, did he do Link to the Past? Might have. Right? If you just credit all of their music, that's how people will learn their names. Right? Totaka. Right? Koji Kondo is actually the second person I think of when I think of Nintendo music. The first one I actually think of is Totaka, who worked on Animal Crossing. He worked on Wii Sports. He worked on Luigi's Mansion. He might have done the Wii Shop Channel theme. That might have been Totaka. Right? Like, I mainly know him from Animal Crossing because Totaka is the inspiration for KK Slider. KK Slider is based on Totaka. Right? Like, why is there not a Totaka playlist that has all the music he's worked on for all of his games? People would love that. I think that's a great idea. I don't know how Nintendo just didn't think about this. I don't know how this was an oversight. Credit your composers, Nintendo. Like, come the fuck on. This is my biggest problem with the app. All these other problems... Okay, this and again, not having enough music. But the not having a music thing can be remedied, and I think this can be remedied as well. I hope they fix this sooner rather than later, because clearly you've got a second... You could just easily add this. Like, you've got a section on your app for track details. Why the fuck is Composer not there? Why didn't you make Composer playlists? It seems so obvious. And they just didn't do it. So, I don't get it. I don't get it, but that's what they did. My nose is all clogged up today. God, I hope I'm not getting sick. Everyone at my workplace is sick right now. Like, so many people are out. God, it better not be me next. It better not be me. At least not until after the election. After the election, sure. But before the election, no, I can't afford to be out. Yeah. So that's the big problem. I guess, so I'm not an expert on this, but I guess you know, one of the things people want is when they want a music streaming service, they want raw audio files, which are usually a little bigger, but they sound better, right? People want raw audio. I guess this app uses compressed audio. People are upset about that. Personally, I can't notice the difference. If I'm being perfectly honest, I can't notice the difference. I don't have that kind of ear. But use raw audio, Nintendo. I know it's a little bit, you know, the file sizes are bigger, but it's just, people want that better sound experience. Give it to them. In the setting, right, when, on, like, the website where they talk about this, I guess Nintendo says that, not every song from every game will be included. What does that mean? As of this moment, we have no idea. I haven't heard, with two sort of exceptions. I haven't heard people be like, oh, well, this obvious song from this game is missing. The only 2 exceptions I can think of are Splatoon 3 here. Because for some reason, the Splatoon 3 soundtrack in the Nintendo Music app doesn't have any of the DLC songs. it only has songs that were in the base game at launch. It's missing all the DLC songs. And we have no idea why, because like the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, that has all the songs, that has all the DLC songs, but for some reason they don't have all the DLC songs for Splatoon. And it's just kind of weird. Like, those seem like such obvious admissions. I hope they update it at some point. I see no reason why they won't update it at some point. It's just like a real obvious oversight. Like, if Pokemon didn't have the DLC songs, I'd be like, okay, clearly they're not just doing that yet. But the fact that Pokemon does and Splatoon doesn't, it's just weird. So that's the obvious one. Now, I say Pokemon has all the songs. Technically, that's not true, because the only other admission I can think of is in the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet soundtrack. There is the Ed Sheeran song Celestial. And as far as I can tell, that's not on the Nintendo Switch Online Music app, the Nintendo Music app. I don't know, I'll double check here the next time I die. But as far as I know, that's the only other song that's missing. So maybe that's what they're talking about, is like licensed music, third-party music. Like, I'm assuming, because eventually they're gonna add Smash Bros, and I'm assuming like when they add Smash Bros Ultimate, it's probably not going to include songs from like Final Fantasy, or I could see companies like Capcom and, you know, Bandai Namco and Microsoft being like, yeah, you can use Banjo-Kazooie music. But I could see Square Enix saying no. I could see Sega saying no. Actually, I really hope Sega music gets added to this. I hope other companies are like, yeah, we'll put our songs on Nintendo Music. You know, Nintendo pays them a pretty penny. I hope we get a lot of Sega Master System and Sega Genesis music. Sega Dreamcast and the other console. I hope we get some indie music. All the Undertale stuff, all the Shovel Knight stuff. I hope that all makes its way on here eventually. Because if Nintendo Music becomes the one-stop shop for video game music, the same way that like Spotify is supposed to be for, you know, music. Even though, again, every video game company going to create their own fiefdom? Like, is Sony going to launch its own music app? Maybe. Is Sony Music already on Spotify? Also, maybe. I never know with these things. But I could see anything being possible. But yeah, I could see like Smash Bros having like not having every song. So hopefully that's what they're talking about. But other than like licensing bullshit like that, there should be no... If Nintendo owns every song on a soundtrack, every song should be there. It'd be weird if they weren't. But it's Nintendo. Literally anything and everything is possible. And that might just be like a blanket cover your ass statement. Yeah, Celestial isn't on here. The Ed Sheeran song. Yeah, why can't I look up the Toby Fox music he did for... Toby Fox did music for Scarlet and Violet, right? I know he did for Sword and Shield. Yeah. Something I've seen people complain about that I actually don't... This is not a problem I've had, but I've seen other people complain about, is so for a lot of these songs... So Nintendo normally releases their music in Japan, just not here in North America, right? Mostly Nintendo only releases their music in Japan, and you gotta import it. But, so a lot of these albums that they have on this app have album art. Like, if you go in, like I've seen the Mario Galaxy album art, right? Like, I know, like, have I seen the Pikmin one? I don't know, I've seen some of these games' albums art before. So, it's weird that, right, a lot of these songs don't use the album art. But instead, what Nintendo has elected to do is use screenshots from their games. So, right, when I look at, like, the Pikmin soundtrack here, I see, like, oh, you know, Setting Out is the ship blasting off. Sunspeckled Terrorists is a shot from the Sunspeckled Terrorist. Blooming Arcadia is a screenshot of the Blooming Arcadia. I've seen some people be like, oh, why not, you know, this looks kind of unprofessional. Why didn't Nintendo use actual album art? I'm going to give a counterpoint to this. I kind of think it might kind of be an accessibility thing. Because when I'm playing through a game, 9 times out of 10, I don't know what song I'm listening to. Like Splatoon here, yeah, every time we start up a match, in the bottom corner, it tells you what song is playing. But that's not how every game works. Very rarely do you actually know what song you're listening to. I mean, sometimes like Good Egg Galaxy and Mario Galaxy, the song is just called, right, Good Egg or something like that. But that's not always that obvious. So by having these screenshots, it's instead like, hey, I want to listen to the song where that plays in Pikmin 4 when you fight the Crusted Rumpup. I have no idea what that song's called, but looking through the screenshots, I see a screenshot with the Crusted Rumpup on it, and that tells me, hey, the song is called Battling a Stronger Creature. So it's a quick, easy way to find a song, not by knowing the name, but by knowing what's going on in the game when you hear that song. I think that's actually a great idea. So I know people want album art, I actually think what they have is fine. I think it might be fine to let you switch between the two modes, have album art if you want it, have screenshots if it's not. But no, I actually don't have a problem with this. I've seen people complain, and I'm like, no, this is actually a very easy way to find a song just based on visuals, because you relate music to what's going on in the game. And of course, some album arts are there, right? All of the Splatoon soundtracks have the in-game album arts that you see in, like, the jukebox. So it's not like there's no album art here. It's just it's used kind of sparsely. So no, I don't actually have a problem with the album art stuff. Something else I would like to see, I would love to see a website version, or like an app version of this. I see it on Nintendo Switch itself. Because, yeah, this stuff is useful, but it right now, like, let's say we're gonna do something on stream right now that doesn't have a video game music in the background. I can't use the Switch app to get video game music in the background of this stream. I have to go on YouTube and look, like, let's say I wanted to use Splatoon music in the background of our stream we're doing right now. Yeah, no, I can't just do that. I still have to go to YouTube to do that. Give us a website, you know? Like, I would love to see an app on the Microsoft Store, you know, on, like, the Windows Store, on the Apple Mac Store, that allows us to do this, but I don't think Nintendo's ever going to go that far. But just allowing us to have a website so that way we can listen, like, I can have headphones on while using my computer, and not have to have it connected to an app. I think that would make perfect sense. I doubt they'll do that. I don't know, anything's possible. But just having a mobile app feels kind of limiting. And that's totally something they can fix later. That doesn't have to be, like the composer stuff they need to fix tomorrow. This is not something they need to fix tomorrow. I wanted to go over here and pull up the jukebox real quick. See, like, all these album arts, these are in the, like, if you go and listen to, you know, Liquid Sunshine, it uses that exact same album art. The deep cut, right, if you listen to, Is Now or Never in there? I can't remember which songs aren't on there. Like, I know none of the side order songs are on here, which I know people are mad about. But yeah, like, if you listen to the music, you're not gonna find some of these songs, because they don't have any of the DLC stuff, which is just an oversight. But I do like that the Splatoon stuff does use the album art. I was looking for Rainbow Anarchy. That was the song I was looking for. And I just don't see it on here. I'm sure it's somewheres. I just have to go find it. But yeah, no, so yeah, that's the thing. The other place I think the app would be perfect. So when you go to the Switch menu, down here you have Nintendo Switch Online, News, eShop, Album, Controller, System, and Sleep. They should add a new button for Nintendo Music. So that way, instead of having to, like, go over, find the Nintendo Music app, boot it up just to listen to music on your Switch, it should be an easily accessible app down here at the bottom. And I think they can just add another one. Like, there's still plenty of space on each side. Like, because they added Nintendo Switch Online. That wasn't always there. I feel like that would be a great addition, even if that's a thing on Switch 2. I'd love for them to put it on the original Switch, but if they put it on Switch 2 as well, I'd be fine with that. Because I want it to have its own app at the bottom. But also, when you hold the home button, you pull up this little side menu, and right, the side menu, it has the time, it has Wi-Fi, it has battery, sleep, and airplane mode. There's all this blank space up here. Let people select a song from up here. And maybe, that way you can set it so whenever you turn on your Switch, it plays music while you're up here. And it'll go to whatever you most recently listened to. Maybe you can set it so that every time you turn on your Switch, it plays a specific song. Maybe you can set it so that way every time you open up the eShop, it plays a specific song. Every time you open your album, it plays a specific song. And then while you're in a game, same thing. Open up the menu, and it has a song that you can pick, and that way you can easily control your music. Of course, there's the in-game music, but maybe you just want to listen to your own stuff, right? You want to play some Splatoon and listen to some Mario Wonder stuff. I think that makes a lot of sense, but we'll see if they actually do that. I think it's a very smart choice, but this is Nintendo. They're a company run by boomers. Literally anything is possible. So that takes us to our last issue, which is the amount of music here. Currently, there are only 20 songs, and that's just not enough. If I'm being honest, there really needs to be more music here. They have already updated, right? Within 24 hours of this app launching, they've already added some new songs, right? Specifically Mario Wonder. They added Mario Wonder, which is a great addition, but they need more, right? We talked earlier, we need every Zelda song. Like, the fact that this didn't launch with Skyward Sword, like, the fact that the two Wii games they chose were Mario Galaxy and the Wii Shop, and, the Wii menu music, which, don't get me wrong, I think the Wii menu music is a great choice, but you should have at least also had Skyward Sword in there. Because I would argue Skyward Sword soundtrack is the best Nintendo soundtrack. It's up there with, like, Mario Galaxy and Donkey Kong Country 2. It's so good. And it's the best Zelda soundtrack. Don't get me wrong, I love how understated Breath of the Wild soundtrack is. It's very melancholic, it's very well done. Skyward Sword, the operatic of Skyward Sword, the grand orchestra is so amazing. Skyward Sword is one of the best soundtracks. The fact that Mario 64 isn't on there is a huge crime. I listen to fucking Dire Docks every day till the sun explodes. Okay, maybe not Dire Docks, but you get my point. Right? Like, I feel like they would launch with all the obvious Nintendo, the big four. Nintendo, or Mario, Zelda, Animal Crossing, and Splatoon. Like, I knew that, like, you'd think Pokemon as well, but it's Nintendo, like, of course. I mean, I'm kind of surprised we got Scarlet and Violet, if I'm being honest. But you'd think they would at least launch with those four. And they just didn't. They just didn't. Right? There's the only Animal Crossing there is New Horizons, which New Horizons, the soundtrack is fine, but I know people much prefer New Leaf. New Leaf is where the Animal Crossing soundtrack is out. New Leaf is people's favorite. I'm surprised that's not there. Is any 3DS game on there? Actually, I kind of want to look. Is any... There are no 3DS games on here. What the hell's up with that, Nintendo? No Kid Icarus Uprising. I knew Smash Bros. Not being on there, I kind of see why. I think it should come eventually. I think, again, kind of funny. I want to say Tim Geddes was like, oh, we need Smash Bros. And Blessing was like, oh, don't you think you're asking for a little too much? No, he's not asking for too much. I'm sure they can't get every song from Smash Bros., but all the remixes, Brawl soundtrack, Melee soundtrack, right? That has to come eventually. Because, well, yes, there are a lot of remixes in Smash Bros. Because I think it's over a 900 instrument sound strip, right? It's got over 900 songs. It's the largest soundtrack of any fighting game ever. It's still, it's gotta happen eventually. I was actually really surprised that Mario Wonder wasn't there at launch, but it's good that they added it within 24 hours, and it gives me hope that they'll add more in the future. Super Metroid's not on here. Super Mario World isn't on here. So many obvious games. I could probably name 100 games that should be on here. That's how many they're missing. Right? With only launching with 21 games, I can guarantee you there are probably 100 games missing. You know what? Let's throw the stream off track. You know what? Executive decision. Can we name 100 games that should be on the Nintendo Music app? You know, you remember how, I think it was Cutie Cinderella did that whole challenge of, like, can you name 100 women? Can we name 100 games that should be on Nintendo soundtracks? Can we... You know what? Fuck it. I'm taking the stream off the rails. Let's do this. I bet I could do that right now. I bet I could name 100 games that should be on Nintendo Switch Online. Let me pull up a blank Word document. Give me a second. New Word document. Okay. Cut the monitor. Cut the gameplay. There we go. Let me actually get some music. Give me a minute. Am I... Okay, whatever. Let me get some music real quick. Let me get some generic background music. YouTube. Again, it would be really nice to be able to open Nintendo's website and be like, oh yeah, here's 100 Nintendo song. You know, here's an hour of Nintendo music that we could listen to. But you know, we can't do that. So instead, I got to do it myself. I'm just quick looking, see if I have anything fast and quick that we can listen to. Let's just do. See, YouTube, Mario Wonder, Music Extended. Sure, I guess. Can you hear that? I'm sure that's fine. Actually, do I want that? Whatever, fuck it. Okay. Random blank Google Doc. Let me just adjust the microphone. I'm completely fucking throwing off the stream. I don't care. Name 100 Nintendo Music games. Boom. Let's make that the title. Let's make that the title of the document. And let's just start. One dot space. Okay, so I'm not going to look up anything. Oh, wait. Oh, we've already got Live Split running. Never mind. I've already got an instance of Live Split running. I can't start a new one. We'll figure it out. Okay, the only resource I'm going to use is the Nintendo Switch Music app. So I can see the 20-ish songs that are, the 20-ish games that are already on there, and that's kind of going to be my starting point. I think this is going to be easy as pie. Okay, The Legend Zelda, Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, Ocarina of Time's already on there, so we got to do Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild's not. Tears of the Kingdom surprisingly isn't on there. I'm amazed that one's not on there. Like, I know it's clear that they wanted to have a variety, a little bit of everything. I'm amazed Tears of the Kingdom wasn't on there at launch. Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, Minish Cap, Link Between Worlds. Echoes of Wisdom. Alright, that's more or less Zelda games that matter. Super Mario Bros. 2. Super Mario Lost Levels. Mario Bros. 3. Super Mario World. Because they have Yoshi's Island, but they don't have World, which is really surprising. Mario 64. Super Mario Sunshine. Mario Land. Super Mario Land 2. 3D Land. Mario 3D Land. Mario 3D World. And let's just, Bowser's Fury, we can also just basically tag onto that. Mario Galaxy 2. We got Wonder on there. We've got the original Galaxy. We've got Odyssey. New Bros. New Super Mario Bros. Wii. New Super Mario Bros. DS. Super Mario Bros. 2. Let's just do Wii U. Do we want to count Luigi U as a separate game? Let's just put Deluxe on there and call it a day. Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing Wild World. Animal Crossing City Folk. Animal Crossing New Leaf. Splatoon. In Splatoon 2. Okay, though 37 in, those are the easy ones. And I'm sure I missed some stuff in there, because I don't think I've named every mainline Mario game. Obviously, we had to skip over a few. Let's do Kirby Kirby's Adventure. Is it called Kirby's? Something like that. Adventure. Okay, I definitely spelled that wrong. Kirby's Adventure. Kirby's Dreamland 2. Kirby's Dreamland 3. Kirby Superstar. Let's just put Ultra on there just for... Is Nightmare in Dreamland? Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland. Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. Kirby Squeak Squad? Kirby Triple Deluxe. Kirby Planet Robobot. Kirby. They have Star Allies, but they don't have Forgotten Land. Lands. Kirby 64. Crystal Shards. Kirby's Epic Yarn. Kirby Mass Attack. Kirby in the Rainbow Curse. Canvas Curse. There's definitely a Kirby game I missed somewhere. Oh, Kirby Return to Dreamland. Okay. Alright, that's every Kirby game I can think of. That's halfway. Another big miss, Xenoblade Chronicles. Xenoblade Chronicles X. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I'm not going to count Torna as a separate thing. Also, no third-party games. I don't know if it was obvious. I'm not doing third-party games. That just feels cheap. 3. There's a Xenoblade game I'm missing in there. Because, yeah, I'm not counting... Torna is a separate thing, but I'm just counting it alongside there. Same thing with Future Connected. I'm just counting that with the original. Earthbound. Beginnings. Earthbound. Mother 3. Duh. Rhythm Heaven. Heaven Fever. Okay, I think Rhythm Heaven Fever is a different one. I don't know. Elite Beat Agents. Medios. It's definitely not spelled like that, but close enough. Kid Icarus. Uprising. Oh, how about just normal Kid Icarus? Ice Climbers. Duck Hunt. I'm gonna do Super Smash Bros. Smash Bros. Smash Melee. Smash Brawl. Smash Wii U / 3DS. I combine them together. Smash Ultimate. Duck Hunt. We got Super Mario Land. Again, no third party, so no Tetris. F-Zero. F-Zero X. F-Zero GX was that one? Oh, Fire Emblem. Awakening. Fire Emblem. Oh, what's it? Birthright and Conquest was, Fates? Was it just called Fire Emblem Fates? I don't... It's Birthright and Conquest. Fuck. Fire... 3 Houses. Fire Emblem Gauge. Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War. What is Ike's game? Path of Radiant. Path of Radiance. That's definitely not spelled right. Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. Path of Radiance, yeah, there we go. Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn. There's a Sacred Stone one. Fire... I don't even know if I... And what's the fire... There's a Fire Emblem... That they remade... That they made, with Alm and Celica. Fates... What are those games? Because those games are called something. I can't think of it. Genealogy of the Holy War is not the one on here, right? No, they have Blazing Blade is the one on here. I think that's Ike's game. Or I mean Roy's game. I don't remember. I think it's Fates. I think Fates is the one I'm thinking of. If not, it's a different one. Close enough. I know there's a Fire Emblem Fates something. I don't think that's the mobile app. God, I hope that's not the mobile app. kind of want to check that, double check that real quick. Do I have the Fire Emblem mobile app? I thought I did. The mobile app was called Heroes. They got Dr. Mario on there. Gyromite and Stack Up. Gyromite, Stack Up. It's cheating, but I'll take it. There's definitely some obvious ones I'm missing. Oh, ARMS. Switch games. Oh, Paper Mario. Paper Mario. Year Door. Or Super Mario. Paper Mario Sticker Star. Paper Mario Color Splash. Paper Mario Origami King. Oh, well, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is on there, but Super Mario Kart, Mario Kart 64, Mario Kart Wii, Kart 7, Mario Kart Double Dash. I don't know why I keep hitting Y. Okay, let me think. What else? What else are we missing here? Super Metroid. I mean, we could do both Metroid Primes. Other M. And Metroid Dread. Let's actually change other M to Fusion. Fusion. Metroid Dread. There we go. There is 100 Nintendo games that are missing from Nintendo Switch Online. 3 pages. And we could keep going. Metroid Other M. Metroid Prime 2. Metroid Prime 3. Metroid Zero Mission. Metroid 2. Samus Returns. Oh. Wario Land. WarioWare. WarioWare Shake It. Was it called, or was it Wario Land Shake It? Wario Land Shake It. WarioWare DIY. No, it's just one word, really. Where Get It Together. 1-2 Switch. Everybody 1-2 Switch. Nintendo Land. Wii Sports. Wii Sports Resort. Wii Fit. Wii Fit Plus. Wii Party. Wii Party U, I think is what the second one was called. What was that? What was that one game collection that had like the fishing and had tanks on it? Is it just called Wii Motion? No, it wasn't called Wii Motion. I can't. Whatever game had tanks on it, I clearly can't remember the name. It was something like that. I guess Bayonetta counts. It's second party, I'll count that. 3. Yeah, sure, I'll count that. Oh my god, we didn't... Pokemon Red/Blue. Gold/Silver. Pokemon Ruby/Sapphire. Pokemon Diamond Pearl. Pokemon /White. Pokemon X/Y. Pokemon Sun/Moon. Pokemon Sword/Shield. Pokemon Colosseum? It's something like that. Oh yeah, I was way off. Pokemon XD, Gale of Darkness. Pinball. Mario Pinball. Mario Pitcross. Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion 2. Wahaha. I don't think 3 is on there. No, it is not. Luigi's Mansion 3. Luigi Superstar Saga. Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. Chugger Conroy's 50th Let's Play. Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. Mario and Luigi Dream Team Bros. And Luigi Paper Jam. I'm not going to throw Brothership on here because it hasn't released yet. Yeah. Mario Party. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. Super Mario Party. Superstars. Mario Party. Or wait, it's Super Mario Party Brie. And that's not even counting all the DS ones, which I'm just going to throw on Mario Party DS. Because I can't think of any of the DS. You need top 100. Oh, wasn't there a WarioWare Gold? Chibi Robo. Ziplash. Box Boy. Is it just called Box Boy 2? 2. Bye Bye Box Boy and Girl. Part-Time UFO. Harmonite. Which is a rhythm game also made by Game Freak. What was that town game that Toby Fox did the music for? Sure. There was a town, little... Plus cats. Tomodachi Life. What was that game called? There was a game that it was made by Game Freak with Toby Fox as one of the developers. Crossing. I'm just being cool at that point. I kind of want to see now if we can get to 200. that's why I'm still going. Mario RPG. I'm just gonna throw Game & Watch as like a catch-all category. I mean, we threw Duck Hunt on here earlier. Oh, Devil's World, Captain Rainbow. Oh my god, Star Fox 2, Star Fox Salt, Command, and then Star Fox Zero. God, we're so... It hasn't even been half an hour. It's been 24 minutes, and we're almost at 200. Have we done Pikmin? Did we do Pikmin? How the fuck did we get almost 200 and we didn't do Pikmin? Oh, pick carrots. Pikmin. Pikmin 2. Pikmin 3. Pikmin 4. Pikmin 5. Pikmin 16 million. It's 100,000 million. 16 billion and 11. Pikmin 1 and 2 and Pikmin 3. Pikmin 4 and Pikmin 4 Deluxe. Pikmin 5. 16 billion and 11. I can't remember how the song goes. Pikmin 1 and 2 and Pikmin 3. Pikmin 4 Super Smash Bros. Wii. Pikmin on your phone. Yes, it's called Pikmin Bloom. Pikmin crossover with Pikmin and Doom. I can't... the only Yoshi... there's Yoshi's New Island. Yoshi's Cookie. And Yoshi's Safari? I can't think of any of the other Yoshi games. Oh, actually I can think of two more. Yoshi's Woolly World. And Yoshi's Crafted World. Woolly Jumper. Okay, let me think. Country 2, Donkey Kong Country 3, Donkey Kong 64, Tree Turns, Tropical Freeze. I know there's the rhythm Donkey Kong Barrel Blast. I think it's called I know Barrel Blast is one, and there's also like there's another drumming one. Is there Donkey Konga? I can't think of the name. It might be Konga, but I'm not gonna. I'm trying to put stuff I actually know. Oh my god! You know what? How many times is Mario on here? We have done 49 Mario games, and you know what I just realized? That doesn't touch any of the sports games. Mario Tennis, Mario Golf, Mario Strikers, Mario... Oh, what's the baseball one? Sluggers. I'm going to say Super Sluggers. And game number 200, Punch-Out. And I could keep going, because there's Super Punch-Out. Punch-Out on the Wii. There's obviously all the different Mario sports games we didn't know. Oh my god. You know, there was a part of me that was like, you know what, maybe we'll struggle to get to 100. No. You can't see it over here, but we're 5 pages in. And I could keep going, because there's a bunch of sports games we can still name. Okay, part of my idea with making this list was that if, unlike the Nintendo Switch Online bullshit, where they only add 1 game a month, part of me had the idea is that if they just add 2 games a month, if Nintendo just adds 2 games a week, they'll get through this list in a year. That was the original idea behind making this list. Looking through it now, yeah, maybe they should double that up. Maybe they should do 4 games a week, and then maybe they'll get to it, because there's clearly a bunch of stuff that I didn't get to. I could have kept going. I still have more ideas. Oh my gosh. We didn't even touch everything. So yeah, you know what, Nintendo, starting this sucker off with only 20 games, when you still have over 200 more to go. And if you do the Nintendo Online strategy of releasing 2 games a month, this is going to take until 2030. This is going to take forever. You better do 2 games a week. And of course, some of this shit people don't care about. Nobody actually cares if either of these 2 make it in. Right? Nobody cares if Mario Pinball and Mario Picross make it in. But there's always one person who does. Right, nobody's gonna get beat up that Star Fox Assault and Command don't make it in. And there's a Star Fox game I'm missing in here as well. Not 64, because that's already on the service. Maybe I'm thinking of Command? What's the one where you're on the dinosaur planet? Maybe, I don't think that's Assault. That might be Assault, actually. I don't know. I remember. God, they haven't made a Star Fox game in a long time. That took us 30 minutes to name 200 games. And we could have kept going. And that's not including third-party games. Which I hope, like I said, I hope we get Sega stuff. I want Genesis, Master System, Dreamcast, whatever the other system is that everyone forgets about. I want, I'd love to see, like, TurboGrafx 16 in television. I'd love to see Atari, okay, maybe not Atari. But, you know, I'd love to see some of these, like, forgotten consoles that people don't really talk about. You know, Hotel Mario. That, all this stuff that people don't talk about that, you know, could also totally been in here. So there's a lot of stuff Nintendo's missing. And I hope they eventually do it. Because, God, we could just keep going. We really could. I love that I chose Other M and was like, nope, never mind. That's a bad idea. Let's do something else. And we did Other M anyways. But yeah, I mean, like, literally, the big 4 take up the first 37. And that barely scratched the surface. Holy shit. Like, I knew we were going to be able to do it. I just didn't realize how much we were going to be able to do. God, you don't really think about it, but this is basically almost 40 years of Nintendo. Yeah, this is basically 40 years of Nintendo. Like, nobody's really going to be beat up over Game & Watch or Gyromite or Stack Up. Yeah, like, nobody's going to be beat up over these two. This is just the stuff I can think of. Okay, that derailed the stream for long enough. We should probably get back to Splatoon. Yeah, here we are. God, that was wild. That was wild. Alright, let's do some WIBE stuff, shall we? Why not? You know, we've been going at it for a while. So, we got two things to talk about for WIBE. The first one is, let's talk about Taco Bell. So, Taco Bell, right, their big promotion this month is all about decades, right? That they're looking back through the history of the company, starting in the 60s and coming up to the present, and like, hey, what are discontinued menu items that people don't have anymore that, you know, people would like to try again? Right, that, you know, I know at some point they did like a competition to see like, hey, which of these discontinued items would they like to be brought back? And I'm sure not all of those did get brought back, obviously. Like, I know the caramel apple empanada or whatever was like a choice thing. But I want to say it went up against like the Mexi Melt, which did come back. Either way, they're bringing back a bunch of past decade stuff. People are excited. Of course, it released on Halloween. I did go and try it on Halloween. So here are my thoughts. The tostada sucked. If I'm just being honest, I'm already not a big tostada guy to begin with. If I'm being just blatantly obvious, I'm not a tostada guy. I've never really cared for tostadas. The Taco Bell tostada just didn't do it for me. Mine was very mushy, like everything kind of clumped together. I wasn't very impressed with the tostada. The green sauce burrito, I think it's supposed to be a green chili burrito. Like, it's basically just a bean burrito, but with a green sauce that I'm sure is supposed to be like some sort of green chili sauce. No, it was a bean burrito, right? It was a little different, but it is vegetarian, but I didn't think it was anything that special. I mean, honestly, it's one of those things where it's like, once you have like real green chili, you kinda, nothing else really compares. This kind of reminds me of like, when places in like, oh, we're in, I'm gonna use California as my example, where you're in like LA and you go to like a authentic Mexican restaurant that's, you know, all staffed by white people, and it's like, this is their green sauce, because obviously they can't get green chili where they are. That's kind of what it tastes like. I don't know, down here in El Paso, like Hatch isn't too far. Getting good green chili here isn't that hard. Yeah, I wasn't too impressed with the green burrito. The Mexi Melt, as far as I can tell, like, maybe this was more different than a taco, but it really just felt like, hey, it's a taco. It says they have a 3-cheese blend. Don't they normally do a 3-cheese blend? I'm not entirely sure on that one, but it was a taco with pico de gallo. That kind of felt like the big difference for that one. Is it's a taco with pico de gallo. And I actually really liked it. I think it was, the pico de gallo, you know, it was a nice addition to a standard, like, soft taco. It didn't really add anything crazy. I mean, I guess there was some more cheese on it than normal. I liked it. I thought it was pretty decent. The Gordita Supreme, I've never been a big Gordita fan. Like, I know they have don't they have a Gordita, like a normal one on their menu? Because they have the chalupa, which I'm a big chalupa guy. I'm a big believer in the chalupa. But I swear they also have like a Gordita Crunch or something like that. And if I'm being honest, I've never been a big fan of the Gordita Crunch. It's just always felt inferior compared to the... I'm trying to look through their menu right now. Yeah, a cheesy Gordita Crunch, which is, right, like the shell, a taco shell inside of that, and then, you know, all the fixins of a all the fixins. The Gordita Supreme just didn't do it for me. The flatbread I don't really care for. It was fine, like, definitely, like, I could see myself ordering it again. But of the 4 things, the only thing that really impressed me was the Mexi Melt. I felt like the Pico de Gallo was a good thing on that. It tasted good. I liked it. Yeah, that's the one that really impressed me. Nothing else really stood out. I am excited for the caramel apple empanada whenever that I think that happens later in November, like closer to Thanksgiving. And I don't know why they launched the other 4 things now and not that one later. I would think maybe it's a supply chain issue. But, having all 4 was fine, It's a neat promotion from Taco Bell. And I guess they were also selling, like, promotional cups. I don't know, I didn't see any. But, that represent the different Taco Bell decades. The Taco Bell decade with all, like, the Vaporwave, that's what I remember. That's Taco Bell to me, is Vapor. Like, the Vaporwave with the pinks and the greens. That's Taco Bell. Oh my god, did I love it. Right, kind of like in the same way I think of, like, the Cambro red plastic cups when I think of, like, Pizza Hut, right? It's that, like, same idea. God, I wonder how much microplastic I got from those Cambro cups. Because, everything's fucking microplastic. So yeah, the Taco Bell stuff was fine. Would I go? I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, hey, have you wanted to try this? Do you want to go relive that memory? Well, here's your chance. Again, I think, like, the Mexican pizza I didn't jive with either, but at least I could see what the Mexican pizza had going for it, unlike the tostada, which just has nothing. Like, the tostada had nothing for me. So I was super unimpressed with that. So that was the first food stuff I had tried. The second one comes from the Drink King's Sonic Burger. Right, I'm a big... One of the things I've realized is I don't care for Sonic Burger's food at all. Like, I admittedly did try... I tried their queso burger. So they have a new burger, they put their queso on it, there's some corn chips on it, there's some jalapenos on it. I didn't care for it. It was one of their smash burgers, so of course, companies have realized that, hey, if you sell a smash burger, you can charge an extra $4. So of course it was stupid expensive. But I was like, I'm here, I'm gonna try your smash burger. I tried it, I wasn't impressed. The drinks, on the other hand, so they have 2 new ones. They have a butter brew and a Dr. Pepper sugar cookie thing. So it's like one of those, like, dirty sodas, but the mix-in is sugar cookie themed. So it's a Dr. Pepper with that. That one was okay. The Dr. Pepper one, it was whatever. It was okay, I guess. I don't know. I probably wouldn't get it again compared to some of the other stuff. The butter brew, on the other hand, I did actually like. Because it's a root beer with this mix-in. That, I've seen some people be like, oh yeah, it's probably just, butter beer from, like, the Harry Potter land. It's like a discount butter beer. Which butter beer is butterscotch, if I remember correctly. That's why it's called butter beers, because it's butterscotch, or at least that's what they do in the Harry Potter land. This one, I mean, it tasted like root beer, but it also reminded me of, like, a root beer cream soda hybrid. Like, it didn't taste as much butter as it did, like, a cream soda, and I like a good cream soda, man. I'm all aboard a good cream soda. Oh my god, my nose is so stuffed. Oh my god, I cannot get it to empty out. Fuck, I can't get sick. Oh, fuck. Maybe it's just all the stresses of the week, right? It's been a busy week. Maybe it's just all kind of gotten to me, and it's just dumping on me right now. But fuck. Because, yeah, I cannot get my nose cleared at all. Oh, my God. That's not good. Because that's usually the first thing to go for me. And this isn't like normal, right? Like, I've had my nose clogged plenty of times before in the past. This isn't like that. That I can usually blow out. This I can't. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. I might be running no, it might just feel hot because it's a cold room. And my body's trying to, you know, keep warm to, you know, prevent the cold. Because oh my God, you know, it's funny, it was the hottest October on record, and then it just fucking plummeted, like, last week. And it's been cold since. So yeah, the butter brew I did like. Like I said, I think it's a root beer with a mix-in. I'm not entirely sure what it's flavored after, but I think it's holiday themed, right? This was their big, like, Christmas holiday themed thing. Right, that's definitely what the sugar cookie Dr. Pepper is clearly supposed to be holiday themed. The one thing I did not try, because, you know, I was getting 2 sodas. I didn't want to get a shake as well. Like, that's just way too much. I made brownies for Halloween. So I've already had, like, a bunch of sugar this week. I didn't need 2 soda. Oh my God, that was already enough. And I was actually expecting to like the Dr. Pepper more. Like, I went into it being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like the Dr. Pepper, and we'll see about the butter brew. Because, again, butterscotches aren't really my thing. But no, I actually did really like it. So yeah, there's a red velvet shake as well. They did a red velvet shake. I did not try it. I will at some point. I don't know if it'll be next week. I don't know if it'll be sometime after that. I will definitely try this red velvet shake, because I do like a good red velvet. Not all the time, but, you know, red velvet is good every once in a while. And so, yeah, I think a red velvet shake would be good. I'll get around to it. But yeah, so out of all the things I tried, I would definitely say that butter brew is the best thing I had. But I'm just a big drink guy, man. I really like a good drink. You know, I may not agree with the Mormons on basically anything, but them being big into soda parlors, they got something figured out there. And also, I'm not really an alcohol guy. Like, I don't... Like, yeah, I drink, but not that often. I could probably count the times I go out drinking on 2 hands per year. I'm not really a big drinking guy, right? Like, I like sodas, but alcohol, like, it's fine, but I don't know, I don't go out to bars or clubs that often. I mean, look at me, it's a Friday night and I'm sitting here playing Splatoon and listing off 200 Nintendo games. Oh, really, I'm not much of a drinker. So, I guess I'm a big soda guy, right? Soda is my vice. Oh, there were new, the crumble this week. I didn't get crumble this week. Again, I made brownies. But I definitely did think about it. I know in the past I talked about how I need at least 4 of the 6 cookies to be good. And this week I kind of felt like 4 of the 6 looked good. The Cookie Monster, the Halloween one looked okay. I think it was a Blondie. There was a Dirt and Worms one, that's probably fine. And there was one, I don't remember what the other one was. The pumpkin cake I didn't care for. But there was another one where I was like, yeah, that might be good. It was Dirt and Worms, Chips Ahoy. Oh, a peanut butter. Yeah, I love a good peanut butter cookie. And then a Halloween cake batter. Yeah, that all sounds good. The only thing I don't really care about there is the pumpkin cake. I could live without that. But yeah, no, I just made brownies. And they were okay. They were kind of sticky, but other than that, I don't know if I undercooked them. I might have. I don't know. You know, you do the toothpick thing. It pulled out fine. So I wasn't too worried about it. But yeah, that's the food stuff I tried. Out of everything, I would definitely recommend the butter brew. That was the favorite thing I had. But, you know, I could totally see someone disagreeing with that. I don't know. I haven't had I had butterbeer at Universal. That must have been 9 years ago. So it's been a while. God, that was 9 years ago. Holy fuck. It does not feel like it was 9 years ago. That's wild. So games, what have I been playing? I've been playing, so Pokemon released their Pokemon Pocket TCG. And it's the Pokemon trading card game, but you know, it's online, it's got its online booster packs, and it basically, you know, it's a drug dealer. It gives you 2 free hits a day, so every 12 hours you can open a pack. And that's all I've been doing. I've been opening the 12 packs, 2 a day, and man, it's totally just crack, right? Like this, is it NFTs? No, as far as I can tell, it's not NFTs, but it is, you know, mobile gotcha game, cocaine. It gets you in, they give you the free hit, hoping you're gonna spend money. I used to collect Pokemon cards as a kid, you know, I used to be big into Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Never again. I'll go back to Alright, I came back to Lego this year. I loved Lego as a kid, and then Minecraft came out and I kind of stopped caring about Lego because it was so expensive. Now, I have money as an adult. I can go back to Lego. Lego's at peak form right now. I refuse to buy Pokemon cards. I know everybody got back into collecting Pokemon cards. I fucking refuse. But if they're gonna give me 2 free hits of cocaine a day, I'll take your 2 free hits. And man, have I had, you know, taking that hit, getting a full art Porygon Z. Oh boy, did that make me excited. Getting a Zapdos. Oh boy, was I excited to see that. I have my pull right now. I'll do it here in a minute. Alright, to see what I can't show it on screen, obviously, because, you know, mobile phone app. But I'll do my hit. But yeah, you can also battle. I haven't done the battling yet. I've literally just been doing the 2 pulls a day. You can basically see what someone else pulled and take a card from them. That's neat. That's cool. It's cool that you can do that. And, you know, maybe get one of their rares. So far, I haven't gotten anything good from it. Just a bunch of small cards. But, you know, there's always a chance. Alright, I'm going to open a Pikachu pack. I guess someone has already made a spreadsheet where you can mark off what cards you have, and it'll tell you, like, hey, you should open this pack next, because it's more likely to have a card that you don't have. You know, in the spirit of gotta catch 'em all, which I think is how I'm gonna play it, at least for the moment. I'm gonna treat it like a, hey, just opening 2 full packs a day. How many of these different cards can I get? I know I'm eventually gonna hit a wall, especially with some of these rarer ones. But yeah, you know, getting that Porygon made me so excited. Because I like Porygon, and it's got like a bunch of cute little berries on it. I guess there are like God packs, as they're called, which have like 5 like super rares, all full arts. And like those are pretty special. Yeah, it's neat. It's a neat little thing. I don't know. I definitely don't recommend it. Like, again, I've compared it to crack like 6 or 7 times now. There's no way I could recommend it. But as someone who doesn't do any gacha games whatsoever, I'll fucking take a free hit somewheres. You know. This is why I don't gamble that much. This is why I don't gamble. Because, God, I see how... I mean, gambling addiction runs in the family, as does alcoholism. But, you know, that's why... Maybe that's why I don't deal with this stuff, because I know it happens, and it happens quick. Alright, Genetic Apex Pikachu. Let's pop the pack. I got a Dodrio, a Slowpoke, a Paris, a Metapod, Arcanine EX, and it's got like all the flames, and oh shit, I got an Arcanine! Yeah. And that's card number 5. I've collected 53 cards. Yay, you got 50 cards in your national decks. Woo. There's a daily thing. You can get daily gifts from the shop. There's like a gold thing that I'm not even going to mess with. But I see it in there. There's daily missions, of which it's actually pretty easy to do. 3 missions a day. Like, it's actually pretty easy. Yeah, my next pack is in 10 hours. So yeah, that's my drug, I guess. It's better than being on actual drugs. Yeah, as I told my parents when I started collecting Legos again, it's better than me being on actual drugs. Because, like, I could have a meth addiction. Sure, it helped me lose the weight, but it... oh, God, it could be so much worse. Instead, I bought that stupid Lego Piranha plant because I see it on sale all the time. And finally, I got it for cheap enough where I was like, fuck it, I'll buy it and I'll build it. So I might be doing that this weekend. So that's it. Like, I really have not played any games. Work has been so busy this week. It has been so chaotic. And then the elections next week, and that sucks. I voted weeks ago. We already talked about this. I voted for Kamala Harris. I've already endorsed Kamala Harris. I endorsed her back in fucking July. I was on Kamala Harris' side before Joe Biden even dropped out. I had already warned. I was so fucking low after the debate. I would have taken anybody. Okay, not anybody. You know, I don't need an A-dwarf Heitler coming in, but yeah. God, I hope he loses. I'm not gonna do anything for the election. I guess that would be an outro thing. I'm not doing anything for the election. I'm just gonna because, you know, the election's gonna suck, probably, because it's gonna be way closer than it should be. And then Trump's gonna, even if on the night of the election Trump is losing, he's still going to claim he won, that it's all rigged, and he's gonna spend the next, basically every day from now until the inauguration, right, saying that he won and that it was all rigged. Whether he wins or loses, Trump's going to try to seize control of the country. We all know it's gonna happen. It's just, what the fuck are we gonna do about it? Or then, if he actually wins, like, legitimately, what happens then? I mean, we don't have many fire eaters around, but that's not off the table. I mean, that'd be very extreme for California, but at a certain point, get yours and get the fuck out. We need more fire eaters. Same thing with if Trump does lose, I don't think anything's gonna happen on the right either. Again, there's just not any fire eaters. Like, Texas isn't gonna do anything. Texas might flip blue. It's not going to. There's no way it does. But, yeah. So I mentioned earlier, let's end off the show talking about Nintendo Music. So what are my thoughts on Nintendo Music, having used it now for, you know, the past few days? Basically, when the app came out, it came out like right before I left work that day. So I downloaded it, and then I just put on, you know, at the top of the app, they have I think it's like top hits or top track. It's called Nintendo Music Selects. That's what I'm looking for. It's just called Nintendo Music Selects, and it's some of the best hits from all of their games. Right? It's like, oh yeah, these are the top Nintendo songs. Like, it's not the Billboard, like, top 100 of Nintendo games. Even though I do think that would be that'd be a playlist I would love to see. I would love to see Nintendo keep track of what songs people are listening to every week and create a playlist with the top 100 songs in order of like most listened to right in the top 100. That'd be a great playlist. I don't know if they're gonna do that, but I think that'd be a good idea. But I put on the Nintendo Selects, and yeah, it's just kind of like bumping along to, you got like Pikmin, you got Mario, you got Nintendogs, you got the Wii Shop channel in there. You got a lot of fun ones. The Groovy Long Legs, Mario Kart 8's title screen, the Metroid theme, the ground music. You got a lot of fun ones. So that was so on Wednesday when I left work that day, that's what I was listening to. Yesterday, Thursday, I was listening to Pikmin music. Right, I was listening to Pikmin 4. I went through Pikmin 4. I didn't go through the entire soundtrack, obviously. I didn't listen to all, 100 songs. But I went through the, they have, the top picks, right, which are, the most important ones. And yeah, I forget how, there are some songs where I'm listening to Blossoming Arcadia, and I'm like, I don't remember the song sounding like this at all. Here's the thing. I'm not a big video game music guy. I've been predicting this service for years now. I'm not a big music guy when it comes to video game music. Right? I don't have a good ear for anything. So yeah, listening to the Pikmin soundtrack and being like, this is what the song sounds like? Oh my god, I get somehow I've never noticed or I've completely forgotten. It's really interesting. Mario Wonder, on the other hand, so within 24 hours of the app launching, they added their first new track list, their first new game, track, whatever term we're going to use. They added Mario Wonder, which is one of those things where I was like, I'm kind of surprised it wasn't there at launch, but they did add it because it was an obvious omission. And yeah, Mario Wonder, that sounds like how I thought it would. And that was great. Bopping along to the Piranha Plant song, that's a lot of fun. The Piranha Plant's on parade. So yeah, that's what I was bumping to today on Friday, was Mario Wonder. And just listening to it on my way home, like I would Spotify. Because I only got Spotify this year. I've not been most of the time, I just listen to music on YouTube. I have a YouTube music playlist. Not even on YouTube Music, just on normal YouTube. And I've had the same music playlist that I've kept since... God, it's definitely before the pandemic. And just whenever I like a song, I add it to it. And, sometimes new stuff pops in. And yeah, it was only really this year that I got Spotify. And I only got that because of a family plan. So yeah, I've seen some people complain oh, why couldn't Nintendo just put their stuff on Spotify? This is just so much more complicated. Now I have to switch between two apps if I want to listen to music. I have to switch between Spotify and Nintendo Music, or I have to switch between Apple Music and Nintendo Music. It's not that fucking hard, man. Switching between the two apps is easy peasy lemon pie. I had no problem using it in my car. It gave me no issues. Yeah, it's great. And again, music, audio compression, I don't really notice stuff like that. I'm not, there's some people I work with who are, big on the headphones, who, you need the best headphones, the best audio cables, to get highest sound compression. I'm fine with just AirPods. Honestly, and I'm not even, noise canceling on headphones. I don't actually care for noise canceling. I actually like the opposite. I like where they have the ambient sounds or whatever, where you can hear other people, right? Where it's it's as if you're not wearing headphones at all. That's actually what I value in headphones. On a plane, yeah, noise canceling is great. Noise canceling is fan. I was on a plane with a pair of headphones, and the noise canceling, I'd never realized, oh wow, this is actually really good. But other than that, I like ambient. I like to, especially when I'm doing this podcast specifically, one of my big problems, the reason why for years when I've done this show, I've always only done it with one headphone in, is because I don't I hate my voice, but also I hate not being able to hear myself. I know that sounds weird, but it just sounds wrong. Like, I hate that. I hate being able to hear myself breathe. When I have noise canceling on, I can hear myself breathe. And, like, you can hear all the other, like, internal body sounds. And I don't like that at all. But in ambient, I don't hear that at all. It sounds... honestly, the headphones I currently have, which I think are, like, Soundcore or something like that, are so good, I can't even tell I'm really wearing headphones. It doesn't, like, the ambient mode, it sounds like I'm not wearing them at all. Because I also, like, that's one of the things, like, I hate about it, is, like, you talk louder when you're wearing headphones because you can't really hear yourself. And, yeah, I like that here, right? I don't remember what it's called. There's a tech, and I feel like I'm crazy talking about this. I know I'm not the only one who does stuff like this, where it's like you gotta hear your own voice, you gotta hear yourself through it, because it just sounds wrong without it. That's what I value in a headset nowadays. I don't really care for noise canceling. I value ambience, right? Being able to hear throughout it. It's got a specific name that I can't remember. No, hear through. It's something like that. But yeah. So yeah, I've had no problem with it. The Nintendo Music app works perfectly fine. All right, let's do our outro. Let's get into the outro stuff. Like I said, we're not doing anything on election day. I mean, I'm probably going to watch Internet Today's election stream, because I'm pretty sure I watched their 2020 election stream. That was the one where they did, the Goofs of America. And then I'm pretty sure I watched their 2016 one, back when they were, ETC. So I'm probably going to watch their election stream. So hey, if you're looking for something to watch on election day, go check out Internet Today. That's where I'll be. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have any plans for the election day. I don't want to stream anything. I just kind of want to... I don't... If it's anything like the 2020 election, I just want to curl up and die. But hopefully it doesn't come to that. I mean, either way, it's going to be a fucking shit show. But I hope it's not. I hope it's not. If Kamala Harris comes out with such strong support... Because the thing I said about the 2020 election was that was Trump going to claim victory no matter what? Probably. But support for Biden needed to be so outstanding that on the night of the election, it was clear that he had won, even without early votes. And that's not what happened. Yeah, he won with early votes, but it takes time to count early votes. And especially because Republicans in these states make it harder to count early votes. They do that. That's a very intentional thing that they do. Right? So that way they can try to steal elections early. Again, it goes back to the hanging chads in Florida when Jeb Bush was able to overthrow that election and make his brother president. That's a whole other story for another day, though. But yeah, no, but this year, whether Trump's winning or not on election night, right, Kamala Harris could be taking Texas on election night, and Trump's still gonna claim it. Right, that, he's going to claim that the election was rigged, that even though every fake vote that people have counted over the past few years have mostly been counted for Trump, right, that Trump's voter base is the one that does all the fake votes, he's still going to claim that the fake voters that don't exist. And it's so, because Trump supporters are super convinced, because there's an atmosphere of Kamala supporters not wanting to talk about being Kamala supporters, especially if you live in the South, right? You don't want to put a Kamala Harris sign in your yard because you might get shot, right? These people might form gangs to hunt people down, So that's why these Trump supporters feel like, nobody supports Kamala Harris because, the people who do aren't going to say anything because they don't want to get fucking shot by fucking gangs of murderers. Because that's not off the table, I want to be clear. January 6th, Part 2 is not ruled out. Sadly. The fucking dystopian hellscape we live in. But yeah, it's gonna be a long week. It's gonna be a long week. It's gonna be a long January until something. Yeah. Hey, what's up? There's the shirt. Okay, and that's... We still need the headgear. So we'll get that next time, hopefully. Yeah, anything else? Anything else we got coming up? We've been spending a lot of time naming stuff recently. We named 1,000 Pokemon. We named 200 Nintendo games. We've been naming a lot of stuff recently. Maybe we should not name stuff. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I don't think I have anything coming up. I know Mario and Luigi Brothership comes out next week. I think it comes out on the 6th? I think that whatever that Thursday is. I don't plan on picking it up at the moment. Because, I still gotta play Super Mario RPG or the Thousand Year Door remake. I'm going to play one of those games first, and then I will play Brothership. I just gotta figure out which one. And there's like a bunch of other games that are coming out this week as well. Mark Brown? Game Maker's Toolkit guy. His game, Mind Over Magnet, releases like sometime in the next week. And I'm going to support that one. I'm going to buy that one. There's a few other indie games that I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of want to play. Luck Be a Landlord. I don't think that's on Switch, but I'm probably going to buy that on Steam. So I do expect to pick up that sometime in the coming weeks. But we'll see. We'll see. Alright, I think that's where we're going to head off for tonight. We're rocking in circles. It's been a long night. I knew we were going to go for 2... The second I decided to derail the stream, I knew we were going to go over 2 hours. And yeah, we basically spent we spent over 30 minutes naming Nintendo games. So yeah. With that, I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, peace.